Project Minerva, a new series where we will work together with other Minecraft YouTubers to create a full and wonderful world full of variety and hopefully some special builds. This project has been in development for a couple of months and we are all very excited to now finally be ready to get started. This series will be a bit different than our usual content. Firstly, we will be joined in this creative world by 3 other content creators who we will all work together to create different areas, realms, cities, all with a different theme in one conjoined world. Joining us will be Blind Kubsy.
What's up guys, I'm Blind Kubsy.
A master at terraforming and who is really developing his building skills and taking them to the next level. Next up is Jauch,
Hello and welcome back.
who is one of the best up-and-coming Minecraft builders we have seen in some time. Rounding out our crew is Jauch from Jauchland.
Hello everybody.
The detail that Jauch puts into his builds and time spent on his episode production is second to none. In truth, we here at Genius to Genius Family Gaming are feeling a little out of our depth in such skilled company. Hopefully we do not let the team down. To start our journey, the team will be dividing our attention towards 2 primary projects. For our first project, we will be working closely with Blind Kubsy on Mount Brawnede, a modern city with various outlying areas such as coastal resorts and casinos. So, what can you expect to see from this series? Well, we are planning some epic builds, some fun collaboration between all the members, and hopefully some ideas that will inspire you in your own worlds. On this channel, our videos will take on more of a tutorial feel, where we won't so much give you a block by block, step by step, but more of tips and advice on what goes through our heads when designing and building. With that, you can take these design principles back to your own worlds and create some truly special, unique builds. So with that, let's shut up and get into Project Minerva. Let's go! Hello, welcome to the city centre here on this Project Minerva world in this city. Well, for our first build on this world, we are going to head actually outside of the city limits, just to get into the groove of things and just get it started. Unfortunately though, there's a slight hindrance before we can start on our first major build, and that is, well, a little river. That's right. First, so we can get to where we're going to build, we need to build a little bridge to get over there. So, how about we do that for episode 1, and in the next episode, we do our first major build in Mount Brawnede. Let's have a look. Today's quick tutorial is about blending and color palettes. So once you've actually decided upon a color palette and a main primary block that you want to use, go into your building. But what you don't want to have is you don't want to have the entire structure just made of the one block. It looks boring and it doesn't look detailed and doesn't look as good as it can be. Now, many of the blocks in Minecraft have a similar sort of color, but with a different texture that you can actually use to integrate. For example, bricks, which I'll be using in today's primary build, goes very well with the various granite blocks in the game. And you can interject the granite into a wall just to give it a bit of detail, a bit of look. And obviously that was just done very quickly, just for a rough, but you can see it actually it complements each other and gives the entire wall a different look, a different feel, and a more detailed feel. Now, there are other things that you can do. You can actually use a completely different block that actually complements it just to give it some further detailing. As a complete example, what complements this color range here very, very well is actually the stone range. Now, in that range, you've got stone, but you've also got different things like cobble, polished andesite, stone itself, cracked bricks, those sort of things. And as you can see, that complements the red and the granite and the bricks with the grey, complements it. It's a contrast, but it's also a complement, and it makes it just look better by working those two different things together. Now, speaking of the stone, many times you'll see on Facebook or in videos as a blank stone wall. Well, try to change it up a little bit. Put some cracked in there. Mix it up maybe along the bottom a little bit, just with some mossy cobble, because it's near the ground. And you can also interject that just with some polished andesite, just to, complement it, make it look a little bit different. As you can see, that's taken all of like 10 seconds and the wall already looks different. Also, what you can do is you can grab some stairs. You can make it look like some bricks over time have fallen out of the wall, and I suppose a little bit of depth, and we'll discuss depth more in the next episode. And you can also, if I can use this as an example, maybe up here, and you come around the back and you go boom, and you go on that there. You can even change up the size of the holes in the wall. And as you can see, that looks different, and it looks so much more interesting and more detailed than just a flat brick wall. Now, if you are making walls, and this is going to sound completely strange, but don't forget walls. Walls can be great for making walls. And with the 1/16 changes, they are actually really good in adding depth and a bit more detail. So as you can see here, we're adding a very small thin wall, if I could actually aim better, onto the existing one. So, you can take the walls out and you can build them into and integrate it and change the depth. They make for an interesting structure, but you can actually detail these walls actually in a very unique way. Let me demonstrate. If I come around the back here and I just run another row of walls, or it can be any block, to there, all of a sudden you've got a little bit of detailing, a little bit of depth, something that looks a little bit different. So that is another great tip that you can use to help you with your detailing. So with those very quick tips on color palettes and blending, or probably more a blending or making things look more interesting, how about we take these principles and have a look at today's build. And that is all done. Now, the type of bridge that this is, that it's modelled after, is actually called a Warren Truss bridge. And the point of these bridges are to use triangles to help spread the load out across the entire bridge. And you usually find, they're an older style of bridge, but usually you'll find them sometimes with train tracks. But that's the style I've gone for here, as if you're heading out of the city to go onto a road trip out into the country. And that is the style that we've gone for here. Now, talking about the blending of the different textures and whatnot, so as you can see along the side here, we've got the different the granite with the bricks and the polished granite, just in a random pattern along the footpath on the side. And as you can see here is the basalt. Now the basalt we didn't talk about on the previous tutorial, but as you can see there's only two different types of blocks being used here. The polished basalt and the normal basalt. And you can get so many great textures. Basalt is actually one of my favorite ones, blocks in the game, because it gives you so much texture, so much variety, so many different things that you can do. The other things I'll point out here is obviously we've got a combination of the dark oak and the stripped oak, and actually some dark oak too, I believe. Yep. And also, as you can see, we're using barrels just to break it up along the bottom and give some extra detail and extra character to the build. But of course, on this build, they're not actually barrels, they're just part of the support structure. On the outside of the bridge, and as you can see, we've used that same philosophy where we're using the contrasting and complementary colors, so the stone with the brickwork there, to actually bring out a nice look, a classic look. And along the waterline, I've got a little bit wrong here, but along the waterline, as you can see, we've got some mossy bricks on the walls just to take them up the size, just to look at like a little bit more. Off camera, what is left to do on this build? Well, obviously we've got to connect to the main road structure over here, and as you can see, we have blended in. Probably a little bit more work to do here just to blend that in properly, but as you can see, we've started to mix the black stone of the main road with the, I guess, the country road of the basalt, just where they intersect here. Up the other end, well, it's an open end at the moment. Now, as you can see, I've prepared an area out here for the next episode, for the next build, and I will connect that road up once I've actually got that build in place, so we can actually connect it up properly. The other thing that you want to do here that we still need to do is probably a little bit of terraforming around here and a little bit of adding of bushes and trees, but I'll do that off camera and show you in the next episode. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and look at building the bridge here on Project Minerva. Hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got to be honest, I absolutely love this bridge. I think it came out really well for what we were trying to achieve. I hope you've enjoyed a look, and I hope you've enjoyed the new series, and make sure to check out the other 3 members of this project, because I'm sure they're going to have a lot more tips for you to make you an even better Minecraft builder. See you in the next one. Bye bye.